I'd like to call the city council meeting of February the 6th. We've already started off with a bang here. I'm going to call to order the February 6th city council meeting to order. Sandra, would you please call the roll?
Smith.
Here.
Ray. Here. Marsh.
Here.
Kenyon.
Here.
Petty. Tennant.
Here.
Bunch. Latour.
Here.
Mayor Jordan.
Here. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first order of business we have tonight under the mayor's announcements, proclamations, recognition, city council, meeting presentations, reports, and discussion items. First item is the monthly financial report by Paul Becker.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is financial report, and this is for the full year, so this is for the 12th month of the year. Sales tax recently came in for the month of November, was in the 3% range for the city. We finished the year in total sales tax for the general fund up 4.09%. We were looking for 4.5 to 5, but 4.09 is good, and I'll certainly take that. Overall revenue for the general fund was up between 3.5% and 4% when we looked at all revenue sources. As far as on the expenditure side, expenditures post commitments, and commitments, of course, are capital investments that we haven't done yet, but we are committed to do. We're about 47 million, so we'll have a slight loss for the year, but that's not unexpected. As you remember, we had the play plan added to the year. We also talked about Theater Square and the investment there. So although we will show a loss, we're a little better than I thought we are. And like I said, our revenues are up about 4% in the general fund, so I'm certainly very happy with that. Street funds revenue was up roughly 6%. The driver of that was a half-cent gallonage tax by the state. That generated about $300,000 extra dollars above and beyond what we expected. That's good. We'll show a little loss in the street fund also, but that's again driven by capital projects. Remember, we have the salt storage building. We still have Willow Bend that we're dealing with there. So again, I'm satisfied with how that's going. Parking fund, parking fees were up about 3%, about $1.5 million collected. That's pretty close to what our expenditures were, so we're pretty well break even there. Again, I'd like to remind you we're still working on the Meadow Street deck and some capital improvements there, so breaking even is pretty good for the parking fund. Biggest thing we watch is make sure that we're meeting enough to meet the bond covenants for coverage on the bond issue, and that we are. Parks Development Fund, HMR taxes were up about 3.8% this year, so they're pretty steadily increasing at the 3% rate. We'll have about a $200,000 gain there in Parks Development. That's good because that's what we use to fund not only the regional park but all of our other parks too in the city. Water and sewer revenue was up about 4% this year. It's a combination driven by a 3% rate increase and also by some increased usage of water this year. That fund will show about a break even there too. Remember, we did some capital work this year. We still got a lot of capital to go. We're still going to roll about $23 million worth of capital forward when I get to the reappropriation. So we got a lot of projects to do, but we did complete a lot this year. Recycling and trash was up 8% on the revenue side. A lot of that's driven by the drop box, construction in the area, things of that nature. We'll show a slight loss there, about $900,000 in that range. Primarily, that's because we did do some capital. Remember, we have some trash trucks that we bought that are still in process, haven't been received yet, but your capital expenditures are the reason for a loss there. And remember, when we're talking about the special revenue funds or the enterprise funds, that's everything other than the general fund. It's not unusual to see a loss. We'll see surpluses some years, losses other years, based on our capital commitment, what we do on the capital side. The airport, actually, the airport fuel sales were up over 15% for this year, so they were up good this year. We'll come pretty well to breaking even at the airport. Again, the airport's something we want to watch. The fuel sales have done good. We have to remember that we have large expenditures out there because we're running the FBO, so we're actually selling fuel. So that's a large part of our revenue base out there beside the rental. So the airport, that's holding its own so far. As far as fleet's concerned, we spent roughly $4 million more than revenue generated, but remember, fleet fund is supported by all the other funds in their capital needs over time. Again, there you're going to see some years we're going to have surplus, some years of loss depending on what the budget is. All in all, if I can summarize for this year, roughly across the board, we look like revenue's up between 3 and 4% in most of the operating funds, which is good, steady progress. We're going to see ups and downs. As long as we keep progressing to the 3 to 4% range, I'm satisfied. Like to see it a little higher, but I'll take what we have. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Do you have any questions for Paul? All right, thank you, Paul. All right, number 3, we have the Ozark Regional Transit Operating Statistics for calendar year 2017. Who has that?
Thank you, Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, my name is Jeff Hatley. I'm the Public Information Officer for Ozark Regional Transit. To say we had a challenging year in 2017 would be a severe understatement, but we are on the road to recovery in a very big way. We have finally started receiving some of our own buses to replace the 20 that we lost in the fire on January 10th, 2017. We were able to get the insurance proceeds in June and place an order for 8 buses. We've received 7 of those. 6 of those are currently on the road being used. One apparently had some electrical issues that we're working through, and then the 8th one is due tomorrow. Our ridership has suffered in 2017 across the board, and basically it was down about 18% region-wide, and that's inclusive of Fayetteville as well. We instituted a Veterans Ride Free program June 5th of 2017, and that's on our fixed route systems. We've had as many as 451 veterans in any one week take advantage of that. And since June 5th of 2017, we've had almost 12,089 veterans ride our fixed route systems for free. Those buses that I spoke of that are brand new, the seating capacity is 19 regular seats, plus there are going to be 2 lockdown spaces for wheelchairs. And they're going to come fully equipped, so they're going to have the Wi-Fi and the bicycle racks and the GPS tracking that allow our phone application to work and help people find our bus system, which is something we've been sorely lacking this whole year, having borrowed buses. The GPS system on the borrowed buses and some of the other ones that have been donated to us, they're not quite 100%, but they're pretty close. So now people will be able to get on their phone applications and find the buses in real time, and also find the bus stops and things like that. So that should all work together to increase ridership going forward in 2018. We are having a stakeholders meeting at the Northwest Arkansas Regional Planning Commission on February 15th at 3 p.m. I'd like to invite anybody that would be interested to come to that. That's going to be in regards to the light bus rapid transit system that the consultants have been looking at for a year now. And we're going to be presenting some options to the stakeholders. So looking forward to seeing what the consultants have to say, and obviously everybody is welcome to attend. That's really all I've got for tonight, but I'm happy to open it up to any questions or comments or concerns.
Okay, do we have any questions for Jeff tonight? Okay,
I would say, where is the meeting going to be?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I said it was at the Northwest Arkansas Regional Planning Commission. That's on Clayton Street or Avenue, kind of right across from Western Sizzlin in Springdale.
Thank you.
okay, the other item we have is the Housing Authority Board appointment, reappointment of Christopher White. Mark, I believe you have that?
Yes, the nominating committee met, and we had the opportunity to interview Mr. White. And I'd like to move to reconsider the motion to approve that failed at the last meeting.
Okay, we have a motion to reconsider the appointment, correct?
Yes.
Motion to approve the appointment.
Yes, Della?
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay. We have a motion is Sarah.
I would like to note that I'll be voting no on the reappointment because I feel that the work that the board performed this last year did not meet the standards for transparency and citizen engagement that we try to, that we aspire to hold as the city government. So I'll be voting no. Thank you.
Okay.
Just for the record, of course, this is the motion to reconsider the vote, so then after that, there would be a motion to approve.
To approve is what, yes. Okay, so now we have a motion to reconsider the vote. Any other discussion on that? Sandra, would you please call the roll?
Smith,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Marsh,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Petty,
Yes.
Tenet,
Yes.
Bunch,
Yes.
Latour,
Yes.
And with that vote, the motion to approve is automatically on the floor.
All right. Very good. Do we need a motion second, or is it
No,
already?
the motion has been brought back onto the
All
floor.
right, very good. What questions do we have, comments? I think, Sarah, you've expressed your position. Anybody else? John?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Marsh brings up a point, and I was just curious, I'm somewhat uneducated about this. Is there a lack of transparency on the board?
If you go back on the city council pages, there was no submission of meeting minutes or agendas prior to the meetings. There was a lack of citizen engagement before they made the decision to sell off the parcel at Willow Heights. And overall, I felt that they've not done a good job being transparent with what they were doing and engaging the citizens in the management of millions of dollars in public assets. I think that they could do a much better job than they did, and so I would like to see new appointments on that board. Thank you.
Okay, but the task ahead of you, you either appoint or not appoint on this vote. Everybody got that? Okay. Any other comments? Della?
Yes, Mayor, I'd just like to say that I was at the interview with Mr. White, and I also have worked closely with Mr. White for several years on a committee in town, and I have never seen any objectionable behavior, and I think that it's an appropriate assignment to ask him to continue on the board.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Sandra, would you please call the roll?
you don't need a motion and a second to approve.
No.
Smith, sorry,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Marsh,
No.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Petty,
Yes.
Tenet,
Yes.
Bunch,
Yes.
Latour.
Yes.
Okay. Before we get on into consent, I would like to recognize a group from Spring International Language Center. I've got the privilege of meeting with some of the Brazilian teachers in the last week, and I'm not sure if it's the teachers or the students. Is it the students or the teachers? I thought it was the teachers. All right, very good. So if you would stand, we'd like to recognize you tonight. Very good. Thank you all, welcome. Oh, okay.
Well, on behalf of all Brazilians teacher here for the methodology course in the University of Arkansas, we would like to give you this just for you to remember. There are a few things here from our country that we brought from Brazil, and we want to say thank you for having us here and explaining how this works. And we'll always remember the policy of having an open heart, an open mind, and open doors. Thank you.
Thank you very much appreciated. Okay, the next order of business we have tonight is the consent agenda. Number one, approval of the January 16th, 2018 City Council meeting minutes. Number two, a resolution to award bid number 17-26 and authorize the purchase of a Ford F-550 4x4 crew cab with nap-high dump body from Superior Automotive Group of Siloam Springs, Arkansas, in the amount of $54,429 for use by the Transportation Department. Number three, a resolution to award bid number 17-34 and to authorize the purchase of a Ford F-550 with Dakota body and aerial platform from Grand Truck Equipment Company of Afton, Oklahoma, in the amount of $103,115 for use by the Transportation Department. Number four, a resolution to authorize the purchase of 2018 Dodge Ram 1500 regular cab 4x2, a Ram 1500 quad cab 4x4, and a Ram 2500 crew cab 4x2 from Louise Automotive Group of Fayetteville, Arkansas, in the total amount of $64,146 pursuant to a state procurement contract for use by the Parks and Recreation Department. Number five, a resolution to authorize the purchase of a Chevrolet Tahoe Special Service Utility Vehicle from Superior Chevrolet of Siloam Springs, Arkansas, in the amount of $34,524.85 pursuant to a state procurement contract for use by the Fire Department. Number six, a resolution to authorize the purchase of a Dodge Ram 2500 four-wheel drive crew cab truck from Lewis Ford of Fayetteville, Arkansas, in the amount of $26,971 pursuant to a state procurement contract for use by the Police Department. Number seven, a resolution to approve a budget adjustment in the amount of $400 representing donation revenue to the Fayetteville Fire Department for the annual Employee Service Awards event. Number eight, a resolution to approve the agreement for assignment of ground lease for airport property located at 4560 South School Avenue from Flying Investments LLC to LC Joint Adventures LLC. Number nine, a resolution to approve the contract with Seven Hills Homeless Center to provide funding assistance in the amount of $57,000 for maintenance and repairs at the Walker Family Residential Community Complex in 2018. Number 10, a resolution to approve an agreement with JWC Environmental LLC in the amount of $49,047.06 for the repair of a channel monster grinding and screening unit used at the Hamstring Sewer Lift Station. Number 11, a resolution to approve supplemental agreement number 1 to the contract with McCullough Consulting Engineers Incorporated in the amount of $66,545.27 to add engineering services for the replacement of an existing 24-inch water main adjacent to Morningside Drive associated with utility relocations necessary for Arkansas Department of Transportation Job 040579. Number 12, a resolution to approve the purchase of utility locating services for 2018 from Arkansas One Call System Incorporated in the amount of up to $25,000. Number 13, a resolution authorized Mayor Jordan to sign the third agreement with Beaver Water District related to protection of and nutrient reduction in the Beaver Lake watershed. I will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as read. Sarah?
So moved.
I need a second. Justin?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda as read. Sandra, would you please call the roll?
Smith,
Yes.
Gray. Yes. Marsh,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Hetty,
Yes.
Tenet,
Yes.
Bunch. Yes. Latour.
Yes.
All right, thank you all very much. The next thing, we're gonna open up a public hearing. B1, a resolution to order the raising and removal of a dilapidated and unsafe structure on property owned by Paul Brickman located at 171 East Meadow Street in the city of Fayetteville, Arkansas, and to approve a budget adjustment of $4,715.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. David Carver, I'm the Code Compliance Administrator. As you may recall, this item was tabled at the January 2nd meeting at the request of the property owner. Since that time, the property owner has submitted an application for a building permit. The application, however, is incomplete and lacking required and pertinent information. Therefore, the permit has yet to be issued. Staff is recommending the approval of this resolution with the consideration of the following. After approval, the property owner is granted a required 30-day grace period to obtain a building permit. This grace period may also be extended if staff is able to observe significant efforts are being made by the responsible parties to obtain a building permit and begin work. And once a permit is issued, the raise and removal order will cease. Thank you, and I'll field any questions you may have.
Okay, I would also, is the owner of the property here? Okay, then what questions do we have for David on this? All right, John?
David, I appreciate you sending me the number. I tried to make contact with the landowner and to no avail. What were the deficiencies in the building permit application? I mean, I hope it was more than just he didn't dot an I or cross a T.
Correct. Lack of a valid licensed contractors to perform the necessary work. I believe his estimated value of work was also insufficient, significantly lower than what we would estimate necessary repairs to be. He was emailed a response from building safety. We have not received anything back from him.
Had building safety had an email conversation with him before this time?
I believe the last correspondence directly from the property owner was back in November of 2017. Since then, we did receive the building permit, which lacked the pertinent information necessary to process a permit. And also that was pretty recent, so he still has time to get us that information to acquire a permit.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have one further
Sure.
question. So when you emailed him back, and did you explain exactly what he needed to do in relation to a building permit to make it where it would be acceptable?
Yeah, I would like to stipulate that, all of this is from building safety, not out of my division. But yes, it was outlined very clearly to the property owner what would be needed to acquire a permit.
Yes, Mayor, Council, I saw a very detailed email this afternoon outlining what's needed in order to assess the value of the building permit, as well as the other items that David mentioned. So he does have the information, assuming he got the email.
Okay. Anything else? Is there any public comment on this? See, now I'll bring it back to the council. Adele?
Yes, Mayor, I move that we pass the resolution.
Okay. Do we have a second? John?
Second that motion.
Okay. Any final comments? All right. Sandra, would you please call the roll?
Smith,
Yes.
Gray. Yes. Marsh,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Hetty,
Yes.
Tenet,
Yes.
Bunch. Yes. Latour.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all. Under unfinished business, we have none. New business, number one, a resolution to award RFP 17-16 to authorize contract with MSW Consultants LLC in the amount of $47,932 for the development of a comprehensive rate study for the recycling and trash collection division and to approve project contingency in the amount of $4,793.20. Paul?
This is a rate study, and as the council recall, we have not had a rate study for trash and recycling since the 1990s. So to say it's dated is doing it service. It's long outdated. The selection committee was formed. Mark Kenyon did serve as a council member on that committee. I served on that committee. I will be the point man on this particular study. It'll be a collaborative effort with people from trash and recycling, utility billing, accounting, and finance. So during this rate study, we'll establish rates, which will be necessary to move forward, implement the master plan that the council has adopted, the segments of the master plan that was adopted, that is. It will have to take into consideration capital needs moving forward, any new personnel we need to implement those plans, and should last for a good 5 years. So that's what the rate study is all about. Again, it will come through. I will probably be the point man with the Water and Sewer Committee to discuss this rate study. This particular firm has national experience, served a lot of clients. Its client base certainly impressed me. Lexington, Kentucky was one of the areas which was very, very similar to us, Muskogee, but it had a lot of larger clients, a lot of smaller clients, and I'm certainly confident they have the expertise. To get this study done for roughly $50,000 with contingency, it, believe me, quite a deal. They have agreed. The trash and recycling department, in conjunction with purchasing department, did an excellent job negotiating with them, getting them to agree to use a lot of the statistics that Kessler had gathered when they were doing the master plan, and therefore kept that cost down. So I'll be happy to answer any questions on the rate study or this particular company if anybody has questions.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? All right. What public comment do we have?
Louise Mann, 629 Gray Avenue. I've got a list of questions, and I'll leave the list here and go sit down. I've got one of my attorneys here tonight to be my ears because we're still working out the kinks with the hearing aids. The first question is, what affiliation does Kessler Consulting have with MSW Consulting? Second question, in terms of rates, I love the pay-as-you-throw, which makes us homeowners responsible for the amount of waste we generate. But individuals living in apartments are not held to the same financial standard. How will this rate study address the financial unequal charges between homeowners and apartment dwellers? This is especially important with the ever-increasing renter population. Number 3, in terms of the fleet, with Walmart and J.B. Hunt in our backyard, I wish y'all would invent an electric trough truck that will meet your OCC needs. When I made a FOIA request regarding research into trough trucks, it revealed that only one phone call had been made, and it was to a community that got caught landfilling their single-stream recycling, Santa Fe. I question the validity of cost of recycling equation that's being used around the nation. It goes like this: the cost of recycling equals total cost divided by tons of recyclables collected. That's nuts. As everyone knows, a lot of garbage gets collected with single stream. I hope Kessler did not use that equation, and I certainly hope that MSW will not be using it in their report. I'd like to get a list of all the data that will be used to calculate cost of running the drop-off centers. I'm requesting that during this rate study time period, counters be placed monthly at both drop-off facilities, and that notes regarding the daily weather conditions also be recorded each day the counters are out. The data from the Marion Orton drop-off is very important because we're getting clean loads without all the expense incurred with curb sort. And this is a great opportunity to change our billing and to be a national leader in transparency and separate garbage and recycling and make them each a line item on the bill. I'd be curious to know what role EAC will play in this rate study, and I'm curious because EAC recommended single stream without ever interviewing an end user. The committee included a representative from the garbage hauling industry, but no end users. Without end users, there is no recycling. I suspect MSW has been hired to tell us the only way we can realistically afford recycling is to go with single stream. I'd encourage the media to gather and publish now the names of 3 single stream facilities admired by those aldermen who continue to advocate for single stream. Thank you for placing this item on the regular rather than the consent agenda. And I'll just leave the questions up here
Okay,
that
thank you.
highlight it.
Thank you. Anyone else? We will get somebody to respond to those. All right, I'm going to bring it back to the council. Public comment? I'm sorry? Yes, ma'am, I said we were going to answer your questions. Well, we will, you can give them to the city clerk and she will be happy to pass them along. Well,
You've got the whole, the staff here. Couldn't they come up here, look at the questions and answer them while you got everybody here all together?
Okay, all right.
Thank you,
please.
thank you.
All right. Staff, you need to. Paul, you have the point on
This is
this.
a pretty substantial list, so I'm certainly not prepared to address all of it, and some of it is in my bailiwick. As far as the relationship between Kessler and MSW, I know of none. Another question, was there a relationship with EAC? I know of none there. As far as what role EAC will play in the rate study, I don't believe we have any plans for a role. As far as the information that will be gathered by MSW, we're going to work with them and ask what information they particularly need as far as separating the rates equitably to the users. That's part of a rate study, and we'll examine that as we discuss the study and the formation of the study. Let's see. I'm sorry, I might have to look this a little bit. So we're talking about financial inequality between homeowners and apartments. That'll be addressed during the rate study, so we allocate those. Inventing enough electric tough trucks. Do you want to answer that one, Jeff?
We did talk to more than just one city about trough trucks, and again, you're up against that same issue. You're sorting at the curb, so it doesn't solve that exterior, that demanding work element. I will say this as well, that the single stream was never on the table with any conversation we had with MSW. That is not on any table anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, some of the other ones associated, we discussed single stream. The city didn't adopt single stream when they approved the master plan, so I don't think that that's particularly relevant. The list of the cost data running drop-off centers, that'll be gathered as we do the study. So those are the answers to the best of my ability right now. Again, one of the things of the rate study is to correctly allocate the costs across the board. I would say that's the best we can do on this short notice.
Okay. And what we will do, Louise, we will get you a written response as well. Okay? I'm sorry I misunderstood you. I thought you wanted a written response in the next few days. But we'll get you something. We'll get you something in the next few days. Okay? All right. All right. We have Sarah.
I move we approve the resolution.
Kyle.
Second that.
All right. We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Is there any final comments from the council? Okay. Sandra, would you please call the roll?
Smith,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Marsh,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bunch. Yes. Latour.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all. Number two, an ordinance to waive competitive bidding and to accept a repair quote of $26,100 plus any applicable tax with Rebuild It Services Group LLC to repair a clarifier drive for the Nolan Water Resource Recovery Facility. Tim?
Mayor, this is ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry, kid, you're right.
Whereas formal sealed bidding is not necessary for the repair of hidden and unknown damages, and whereas Rebuild It Services Group LLC has taken apart and examined 2 clarifier drives and has determined the one drive can be rebuilt at a cost of $26,100 and that the other drive cannot be repaired. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Fayetteville, Arkansas, Section 1, that the City Council of the City of Fayetteville, Arkansas hereby determines that because of the Arkansas Procurement Law R6:19-11-203 subsection 14 subsection EE, repair of quote hidden or unknown damages, the repair of the clarifier drive does not require formal competitive bidding and therefore waives competitive bidding and accepts Rebuild It Services Group LLC's repair quote of $26,100 plus any taxes and authorizes the payment of that amount.
Okay, Tim?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The Nolan Treatment Facility processes have up to 6 clarifiers available to separate the solids from the water. All 6 clarifiers are mechanically driven with the same clarifier drive that we're getting repaired here. So several years ago, 2 spare mechanical units were purchased and placed in storage as critical spares. Since then, both of those spares have been used, and recently we sent the 2 bad drives off to Rebuild It for repair. What they discovered that one of them was beyond repair. It was not cost effective to repair. The other one, we just needed some minor repair in the amount of $26,000. When you see that if you buy a rebuilt drive, it's probably about $40,000, and the new drive would be about $130,000, something like that. So it is a good investment. Basically, that needed some shafts and some gears. The wear wasn't too bad. The vendor did deduct $250 for the scrap value of the non-repairable unit, and we will have a single critical spare on the shelf, and we feel like 1 critical spare will be sufficient for the clarifiers at the Nolan plant. And as Kit quoted, we are asking for the Arkansas Procurement Law because we had to get it disassembled for hidden damage to some equipment that was already purchased by the City of Fayetteville. Do you have any answering questions you may have?
What questions do we have for Tim on this? To just go through the Water and Sewer Committee, is that one that did? Okay. Mark?
I move that we adopt the ordinance as published.
Well, I gotta take
Or do
some
we have-
public comment. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay, I'm gonna
Then we
bring,
need to go to the second reading.
yeah,
I move that we go to the second reading of the ordinance as published.
okay, Justin?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go to the second reading. Sandra, would you please call the roll?
The mover and seconder, please put the motions in.
Okay,